Hello and welcome back to my channel. Today I am going to be talking about game shows of the early 1960s. About Faces was hosted by Ben Alexander, who is probably best remembered for playing Officer Frank Smith on Dragnet. The show centered on trying to guess someone's identity. Sometimes it would be a celebrity contestant trying to guess a person from their past or present. For example, Zsa Zsa Gabor correctly guessed the face of her milkman. And other times, audience members were tasked with figuring out their connection to a mystery person in the crowd. The show ran on ABC from January 4th, 1960 until June 30th, 1961. On Video Village, two contestants acted as game pieces on a life-sized game board featuring three streets: Money Street, Bridge Street, and Magic Mile. Players moved forward based on the roll of a large six-sided die spun in a chuck-a-luck cage. If a player landed on the same space as their opponent, they could either take an extra turn or send their opponent back to the start of that street. To win, a contestant had to reach one of the two finished spaces with an exact roll. The winner earned the chance to return for the next game, while both contestants kept the cash and prizes they collected during play. In 1960, Milton Bradley introduced a board game of the show that was so popular that they continued selling it even after the show left the air. Video Village had three hosts during its run: Jack Nars, Red Rowe, and Monty Hall. It aired on CBS from July 1st, 1960 until June 15th, 1962. On the Jan Murray Show Charge Account, the game would begin with two players selecting prizes they wanted to include in their charge account. Each contestant was given a bingo-style grid. A packet of 16 letters was placed in a cylinder, mixed and drawn one at a time by the host Jan Murray. As the letters were called out, the contestants created as many 3 and 4 letter words as possible. They earned $25 for each 4-letter word and $10 for each 3-letter word. At the end of the game, the players used their winnings to purchase prizes. Charge Account ran on NBC from September 5th, 1960 until September 28th, 1962. On Say When, two contestants competed in a game where the goal was to get as close as possible to a set dollar amount without going over. At the start, a dollar goal was revealed, and 4 prizes were shown. Contestants took turns picking one prize at a time, adding its dollar value to their total. When a prize was chosen, it was replaced with a new one. If a contestant got within 250 of the goal, they could freeze their total, forcing the other player to keep picking prizes. The second player had to either beat the frozen total to win or risk going over the goal, which would cause them to lose. Say When was hosted by Art James and aired on NBC from January 2nd, 1961 until March 26th, 1965.
Try this brand new sponge mop. Easier new sponge mop. More efficient sponge mop by Cedar. Take the mess out of mopping. Take the mess out of mopping. Take the mess out of mopping with Cedar.
In Camouflage, the goal was to spot hidden objects or images cleverly concealed within an intricate drawing displayed on a screen. Contestants raced against the clock to find the camouflaged item, answering true or false questions along the way. Each correct answer removed part of the image's disguise, gradually making the hidden object easier to identify. Chuck Barris Productions briefly revived the show for syndication in 1980, but it only lasted 13 episodes. Camouflage was hosted by Don Morrow, and it aired on ABC from January 9th, 1961 until November 16th, 1962. Number Please was hosted by Bud Collyer, who was best known for hosting the popular game show Beat the Clock and To Tell the Truth, and also for voicing Superman on the long-running 1940s radio serial The Adventures of Superman. Two contestants competed to solve a puzzle on a game board. Each contestant had their own row on the board, with spaces numbered 1 to 20. They took turns picking numbers that revealed either a letter or a blank space in their puzzle. The puzzles described prizes, and the first contestant who could solve the puzzle won the prize. Number Please ran on ABC from January 30th to December 29th, 1961. On Your Surprise Package, three contestants took turns asking questions about a surprise package hidden behind them but visible to viewers in the audience and at home. They were given up to 5 clues about the package's contents, and the first player to guess correctly won the prize. If no one guessed correctly, the prize was then awarded to a member of the studio audience. Your Surprise Package was hosted by George Fenneman and aired on CBS from March 13th, 1961 until February 23rd, 1962. On Face the Facts, 4 contestants tried to predict the outcomes of real life criminal cases. Each case, based on actual court trials, was reenacted with actors playing the roles of plaintiffs and defendants. Contestants started with 500 points, and just before the verdict was revealed, they wagered points on whether they could correctly guess the outcome. The contestants with the most points at the end of the show won merchandise prizes. Face the Facts was hosted by Red Rowe and aired on CBS from March 14th until September 29th, 1961. Yours for a Song was filmed in New York City and featured 2 contestants competing to identify the missing words in the lyrics of well known songs. Contestants earned cash for each correct word, and during the final chorus of each song, the audience joined in a sing along. Yours for a Song was hosted by Bert Parks and originally aired in prime time from November 14th, 1961 until September 18th, 1962, before transitioning to a daytime slot from December 4th, 1961 to March 29th, 1963. Your First Impression featured a panel of 3 celebrities tasked with identifying a mystery guest from a group of 5 options. The panelists were shown photos of 5 celebrities, one of whom was the mystery guest. Through question and answer rounds and their initial impressions, the panelists worked to narrow down their choices. To mask the voices of the guest, host Bill Layden wore an earpiece to hear the mystery guest's answers and provided those answers during the questioning part of the game. Your First Impression aired on NBC from January 2nd, 1962 until June 26, 1964. So that's it for today. But while I was writing this, I found more early 1960 game shows that I want to explore. So I will be making a second video, so make sure to check back soon. And sadly, a large portion of early television programming has been lost forever. Networks often reuse tapes by recording over them in a practice known as wiping, and this was common for decades, particularly for shows deemed disposable, such as game shows, which were considered the lowest priority. It's heartbreaking to think of all the moments lost, but I am appreciative of the little glimpses that we do still have. If you have any memories of these shows, please leave them in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like. And if you like this sort of content, please consider subscribing. And thank you so much for watching.